Christine doesn't wear any masks. And the masks are, you put on one face when you go to work, you put on another face when you're with your friends, right? If somebody unexpectedly comes to your house, what do you go run and do? Or do you just answer it loud and proud and be like, Linda, how the fuck's it going? Come on in, right? That's what you're gonna get if you're coming around here. So just be very careful and understand that social media isn't the only way that you're seeing the pronouns. You're literally seeing cute winter boots and Ben & Jerry's ice cream. You're literally seeing anything you can buy on a pronoun, which is available on the shelves, in offices, in certain places, because that is the follow me, I know the way. Wow, those words have never come out of my mouth because I don't know the way. All I know is that I've been given a gift to speak. I ask for guidance and I follow it and I share it, and right? That's why I always say food for thought. What I share with you, you're either gonna chew on it for yourself or you're just gonna spit it the fuck out, right? So when I started talking about politics and that I don't believe in it, holy shit, people were spitting that out left, right, and center, and everything kind of went down, and the air is a little lighter. I should have started that out at the get-go, but see, this also helps too. This is a jet. I have carried this with me, and when I'm meeting somebody for new, I always say to them, hey, check out my jet. And their instant reaction, ooh, I don't like how that makes me feel. Ooh, yeah, because you're dark, motherfucker, and this is going to let me know. So get yourself a jet. It helps. Yes, a gift is only good. All you see are people gatekeeping, right? When I go on YouTube, I just want to choke people, but then I have to remember compassion. All we know is what we know. We've all been spoon-fed, we've all been lied to. So people that are charging for free information, courses, tarot, astrology, charts, right? They just think other people should have money. They don't recognize how many people can't afford to pay for that, but can sure benefit from the knowledge, right? So more people need to recognize we've all been asked to simplify. We've all been asked to change our habits and our behaviors. So when I started talking about money, right, I had to learn, is this essential? Well, to me, eyelashes, makeup, getting my hair done all the time, nails, all that kind of shit, well, that was something I loved, but it wasn't important. When I recognized the food was so fucking poisoned, I had gotten my time back, because that's the biggest thing. Our time was taken from us when they rounded us up and took us off the land. Then they shoved a calendar and a watch in your face and said, dance, bitch, you better know. Huh? Right? You got more hours to put in the day, right? No. Back in the day, the sun and the moon told us when to hold them, when to fold them, and when to walk away. And how we knew is how we felt, what we could see, not what's been programmed into us, right? So the more people that wake up to that, because I have felt this tidal wave growing up behind this political theater. And it's growing, but we're drowning in bullshit information because the truth that's out there about the new internets and the new software and the new groups and the new communities, well, they're like a fart in the wind right now. They're not very effective because they're being drowned out, because you have to understand the US controls the narrative. So why do you think the cables underground have been attacked underwater since 2022? Destroy it, because then there's no other choice but to finally hear what's available for everyone for the highest good of all. Okay, so this is a tough game, but if you're here this far, you've made it. You just have to recognize now that This summer is going to be tough. That's why we need to get outdoors while it's still cold. I'd rather layer up, right, and be able to breathe and to be able to enjoy my campfire and enjoy the trails than to be so fucking hot and so much wind and so much shit going on, you're not going to enjoy it anyways. Now, is that going to be everywhere? Absolutely not. We know that, but that's what I'm feeling for me, right? There's narratives out there about some prophet saying Regina's worst tornado coming to fuck shit up. You got to use discernment on that one, folks. Right? There's people that we've all woken up to gifts, but it's the programming we got to pull back to be able to know how to use them. Right? And so people have been getting dreams, not recognizing that they're metaphors, they're breadcrumbs. You got to pull back from them to be able to see what it means in general. But what happens is, I don't know, something funky's going on here. Oh, who knows? They're probably shadow banning me yet again. Lost my train of thought now. Oh, dreams. Yes, right? So they're a metaphor, right? But like people have been, like the one guy that said he had a dream, right, about the First Nations being annihilated by wildfire, right? That was a metaphor for what they're doing with UN agenda, with the misinformation, with the racism and divide, and that the wildfire is going to be, if the First Nations don't get on the same fucking page and recognized how they've been used and abused and duped, that they invested the money that they were supposed to take to help heal them back into the shit show. And that 9 years after the inception point of the first announcement of reconciliation, 9 years, then a couple of breadcrumbs come down, but they don't understand that that money should have been given to them, full stop, with no fucking what ifs or could haves, full stop. Then we're going to talk some more, but they didn't. They just got in there handling them and loving them and giving them rights to go around the world, go sing at the hockey games and go show your fashion in New York, right? So the land isn't owned by anyone, but it sure will by the end of this year if we continue to be distracted fucking ants and allowing this shit to take us down. Right? Well, that's where the people, like what's going on with the First Nations is what's going on in Canada. That's why the farmers and the First Nations have always been the fix to this shit. Our farmers here, they were kept from the global news of the farmers' protests around the world. So what's going to happen here, because you have to understand, they got to give you all the money and all the products and all the things. They got to get you there for them to then bend you over a barrel. So what did they do with farming? Instead of having mom and pop small family farms, they pushed them into the International Trade Agreement so they could get into the Millionaire Billionaire Club, which is when all of a sudden their machines went to be very expensive, and then they have all these fucking toys and all these things that they can do. And guess what? Well, now you got to have some new insurance this year, folks. Right? If it's not crop insurance and all the shenanigans that have gone on with that, it's now going to be the fact that you need to protect your assets and you won't be able to fucking afford them because Bill Gates, that owns our railroad, he has AI robots that can come in there and do it for you. But they needed to distract the farmers here in our country. So the farmers and the First Nations, they don't square dance together anymore, or ever did, right? They hate one another because they bought the Kool-Aid and the lies and the misinformation from the government. And the West runs their daily lives so different from the East Coast. Our country and the landmass has been used against us forever. I was the girl that left Ontario to come out to Saskatchewan. What was I told in Ontario? Oh, Saskatchewan's a flat land. Oh, they're 10 years behind the time. They're archaic and boring. But Alberta, oh, Alberta's the Wild West. They got guns and shit. You don't want to go there, right? Well, I came out here and I'm like, honey, I'm home. Holy shit, I can breathe. I don't have to have insurances and permits and certificates and all this fucking shit to live my life. I'm living my life independent and sovereign. So up until 2020, all the bullshit I was told about in Ontario did not motherfucking apply to here. I still get to live my life independent and sovereign because I'm not in Ontario that is a system within a system within a system, because Ontario's land mass is used against Ontarians, just like the land mass of Canada has been used against us. Well, that same land mass has been used to keep the First Nations separated and divided, so the bullshit of all the lies and the misinformation can still fan the goddamn fire that's going to burn our country down to nothing. And so who controls the media in our country? Waldo, Ontario. So of course they're spinning everything they can possible against Scott Moe and Danielle Smith, because they got to keep their citizens that they've kept in the dark and that they have in a system against a system. They got to keep you right there. So they're going to tell you how shitty it is. But you know what? Since I've been out here, I've heard nothing about, oh, the East Coast is shitty. The only time I've ever heard about politics before 2020 was when the federal government got bigger than their britches. Ontario and the East Coast is the part of our country that's never been free. You've been financially controlled, manipulated, and abused for years. And now, well, let's bring in smart meters. Let's double your fucking taxes. Well, what about the school tax? How many people are paying school tax on all their residences and all their cabins and their cottages, but yet the schools have been taken down? But now we're going to add tax on top of tax, because then you're going to, like, fuck people. What are we doing? By the end of this year, when you understand all the jobs that are being taken out at the knees without any fucking notice, if you haven't noticed, PV Mart, and all the misinformation about PV Mart, because national news coming out of the East Coast, all of them are closing. But then right underneath the title, it says Ontario and New Brunswick. Didn't mention and just stay with the only word, all PV Marts are closing. What do? They purposely fucking misinform. You can see it just on that example. So if there's anyone that says, I'm an old stock European settler and I believe in my country, but you don't see through the Liberals' new membership fucking program that anyone, a blind drunk monkey or a bot, can fucking be a member and vote those suckers in, right? No. All right, so Christine's got to go. I'm sounding like a broken record. So I've got readings going on YouTube for those of you that want guidance.